Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. Yeah, I got your attention now, right? Number two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number three, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number four, you can make money from your podcast. That's right. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum viewership. Number five, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the What Now Podcast. That's right, the What Now Podcast, where we discuss strategies, tools, techniques, whatever you want to call them, on how we can effectively face, confront, and address life's most, air quotes, difficult moments. And we know those difficult moments, we now identify them as defining moments because they don't define us. We define them. All right. Listen, I want to thank you for joining us again on whenever you're listening to this. My name is Cliff, and I just appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to express to me, you can email me at info@cliftonpettyjohn.com, info@cliftonpettyjohn.com. Also, if you have a business, you have a ministry, you want to send a birthday shout out to somebody, hit me up. We can put an ad in here, so just hit me up and we can discuss the business of this. All right. So come on, let's dive right into the subject on tonight. I want to talk to us about self-awareness. Now, on the last podcast, we kind of started getting into it. I was crossing the line, but I was trying to be careful not to go into what I wanted to talk about today because I didn't want to turn that podcast into two podcasts and then have to cross out this subject with this. Nah, not doing it. Not doing it at all. But today I want to talk to us about self-awareness. Y'all pray for me with this, man. And you probably heard noises. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting how sensitive this mic is. I just put my glasses down. But self-awareness. Now, many of us are very aware of others. We're very aware of others. We're aware of their strengths. We're aware of their weaknesses, where they need to improve on, what they should and should not do, how they should address us, how they should address others, how they should dress, what they need to put on, what they don't need to put on. We have become very aware of others. We become very aware of others. Society is easy, society makes that easy for us to do. But many of us are not very aware of things in our own personal life. Now, this time that we're in right now, as we are, some of us are still in quarantine. It seems like everybody else just going back to business as usual. And I get it. Hey, that's you, not I, said the cat. But my prayer has been since day one of this is that we will take time to face ourselves. We will take time to minister to ourselves. We will take time to build ourselves up. Matter of fact, first, tear down what needs to be torn down and then build ourselves back up, that we will strengthen our foundation, that we will take the time to give to ourselves what we so easily give to everybody else. That has been my prayer during this time, especially for those who are so giving of themselves that many times you find yourself drained. Many times you find yourself burn out because you have poured out so much with very little poured back into you. And sometimes we have taken we expect to be poured into by others because we pour so much out of us. But sometimes the reality is that we're just not around those that have the ability or the capacity to pour into us without them losing what they need. So what we have to begin to do is exercise, self-awareness and exercise self-love. And I know to some people that's a cuss word. You're too selfish. I'm in a stage in my life where I don't even care if you call me selfish. I've been so selfless that I have neglected the most important component to the purpose that's in my life, and that's me. I've neglected my physical body, and I'm not even gonna say that that's anybody else's fault. That's my fault with my poor eating choices and my lack of motivation to work out sometimes. I get that. That's me. But I have sacrificed my mental health, my emotion. Now, some of y'all know you've done it. Your emotional health, your spiritual health, your financial health, your health with your relationships and with your family. You sacrifice all of that for others. You've done it so much now that you don't even remember how to minister to yourself, how to strengthen yourself. You now are dependent upon others doing it while saying, I don't even expect nobody else to do that for me. No, baby, you got to go back and get you. Go back and get the fragments of you that you left wherever you left it at. Some of you got to go to places where you were dropped and pick up those fragments and begin to put yourself together. You're not Humpty Dumpty. You have the ability to put yourself back together. No, Cliff, I done tried it. You know what? Squash all that. And this is what I say to myself too. We all have the ability within us. That's why we have to become self-aware, because when you become self-aware, you become aware of strengths inside of you that other people have been pulling on that you haven't even realized were strengths in your life. You become aware of weaknesses inside of you that will cause you to connect to the right people that can add strength to those areas. But the reason why we keep connecting to the wrong people is because many times we're not aware of our strengths and we're not aware of our weaknesses. So we connect with people who are aware of our strengths, who are aware of our weaknesses, and now they manipulate those strengths and weaknesses to benefit them. Are you self-aware? Are you self-aware? If anybody asks you, who are you? What are you going to tell them? Are you going to give them a title? Are you going to give them a job or a duty that you do? I'm pastor. I'm the pastor. I'm an apostle. I'm the bishop. I'm the doctor. I'm the teacher. I'm the lawyer. Or can you tell them who you are, intrinsically who you are? If somebody were to ask you, what is it that makes you unique? Can you explain what makes you unique? Or is everything that makes you unique something that's external or something that you do externally? Have you tapped into the uniqueness of who you are? If you're not self-aware, I promise you, boo-boo, I promise you, baby, you have not tapped into the uniqueness and creativity of who you are. And sometimes we sit and we wait for other people to tap into it. But baby, guess what? Other people can't tap into what you refuse to acknowledge. Why am I whispering? I don't even know. That makes us feel a little weird. But other people can't tap into what you refuse to acknowledge. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Purposeful people can't tap into what you refuse to acknowledge. And that can be gifts, talents, and abilities as well. You can be so engulfed in helping others and doing what other people expect you to do and want you to do that you neglect not that gift that is what? Okay. Stir that thing up. You can neglect the gift that's inside of you. You can neglect the talents that are inside of you, the abilities that are inside of you. Even you can neglect the call that is upon your life. And what you'll be doing is a good thing. It will be good. People will benefit from it, but there still will be an emptiness inside of you because you have forgot the main person on your team. Self-aware. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do? What do you do when people get on your nerves? How do you escape? What makes you happy? Real talk, what makes you happy? And for many of us, we don't know. I remember people used to ask me, Cliff, what makes you happy? And my answer would be seeing everybody that's in my life happy. But the reality was, now check it, I'm going to say something, and I know some of you are going to misinterpret what I say. Baby, just write me. We can talk this thing out. Although I was happy seeing others succeed and thrive, there still was an emptiness inside of me, because although I'm happy for you, there is a dimension, I guess, of happiness that's connected to me being happy for me that I was not experiencing. Now, that does not mean I can't clap for you. That does not mean that my clap for you is not real and authentic. It just means that I have to connect with me. I have to connect with me. I'm sorry. I know some of us were taught that you sacrifice yourself for the sake of other people. Don't get it twisted. I still believe in sacrifice. But I do not believe in killing yourself for other people. And some of us have killed ourselves for other people. You said, nah, Cliff, because you're still here. You're in a coma. You are emotionally in a coma. You're spiritually in a coma. You are psychologically in a coma. You're in a coma. Everything's in a coma with you but the physical. And can I be honest with you? The physical is in a coma too. You're a zombie. You are walking around dead. And Cliff, you ain't gonna talk about me because I ain't dead, because I shall live and not die. That's great that you're quoting it. Now exercise it, because you own that, baby. Live your life, because what you're doing right now is not living an abundant life. And I'm not always talking about spending money. There are things you can do for yourself at home. But first, you got to love the time that you spend with you, because I know some of y'all, this quarantine, you are getting on your own nerves. Now, for me, this is not a bad, I like being home and I like being alone. And sometimes, I want companionship, real talk, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I want conversation with others, and sometimes I regret starting conversation with other people, because I'd be like, don't you know I only wanted us to text 10 messages and you're trying to take it to 11? Y'all pray for me. That's how I be sometimes. But we're home. It's a perfect time for us to get to know ourselves. And I'm afraid that some of us still won't take that time to get to know ourselves. And can I be honest with you? You are a great person. You are a great person to get to know, but you have to know that, because if you don't know that, you will always depend on other people telling you that. And then when other people are going through their own things, or you meet people that want to build themselves up by pulling you down, then you won't even know how great you are. You have to know how great you are. You have to know how powerful you are. You have to know how amazing and how awesome you are. You have to know it. You have to own it. You have to walk in that thing yourself. Why? Because if you never own it, you never know it, then there's no reality to it. And then the power behind it is absent. There is a power in owning yourself. There's a power in that self-awareness. When you become self-aware of everything about you, then you won't even be bothered by what other people have to say about you. It won't even bother you, because some stuff you'll laugh and say, no, that's not me at all. And then some other stuff you'll say, oh yeah, that's me. That was me. It was me. And if they keep playing with me, they're going to pull that me out. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. But I want us to become self-aware. Self-aware, yo, it is one of the greatest places to be in your life. So tonight, today, morning, afternoon, evening, I've said them all backwards. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, understand that I just want you to become aware of you. Own it too. Own it, baby. Own it. Own every part of you. Don't you dare be ashamed of any part of you anymore. Many times we live in shame, trying to impress people that, to be honest, none of us should be trying to impress any of us. We all have areas of our life that, we're not very proud of, or, if we could bury it, we bury it. So stop trying to worry about what other people going to think, what other people going to say, trying to impress everybody, all that stuff. And impress yourself by being real with yourself. Impress yourself by allowing you to breathe and be out. And when I say be out, I mean be free enough to be you. Matter of fact, you know what? The world is waiting for you to be you. Real talk, we're waiting to meet you. One of the greatest things I'm learning even more in life is to show people more of me. There are parts and portions of me that I just used to hide all the time because I felt like people needed the serious Cliff. They need the serious Cliff, so they don't need the playful Cliff. Now, there are people that feel I play too much now. Okay, then I'm just not for you. Because I can play and be serious at the same time, but I refuse to go back to the bondage that I was in when I was always serious and miserable. I refuse to go through that. I refuse to go through those nights I cried myself to sleep. I refuse to go through that. And like I tell people, I make no apologies for who I am. Maybe I'm just not for you, baby. Maybe I'm not, but there's somebody that's for you. And you'll find them. And I'm not even talking just relationship. I'm talking about business, life coaching as well. I'm a life coach. Every client's not for me, and I'm not for every client. Those that seek me for mentorship. I'm not for everybody that's seeking mentorship, and everybody that's seeking mentorship is not for me. And I understand that because I'm self-aware. And because I'm self-aware, I know the people that will be drawn to me and that will be rightfully drawn to me. So that's all I'm saying. Become self-aware. And the more self-aware you become, the greater, the more self-aware you become, the more you become aware of your purpose. Why? Because your purpose is locked up in your self-awareness. It's locked up there. All right. So again, thank you for tuning in on tonight. I pray something was said that blessed you. I pray that something was said that made it click for you to have that moment, or that, yo, I get it now moment. That's my prayer that you had. That's my prayer, is that you had one of those moments tonight. Listen, as I always say, create a great day, walk with purpose, and by all means, execute your vision. Peace. What's up, everybody? My name is Cliff, and you are listening to the What Now Podcast. That's right, the What Now Podcast, where we, through conversation, discuss ways that we can effectively address life's most difficult moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's episode. Can you identify any areas in your life where stagnation is manifesting? Now, I know some of you might say, no, I can't. Well, I want us to look at stagnation for what it really is. Some people have identified stagnation as something that's not growing or that's not producing. I don't believe that's stagnation. To me, stagnation can also be that yes, we're growing, yes, we're producing. However, we're growing and producing in a manner that's disrespectful to the purpose and the greatness that resides inside of us. And listen, we all have areas where we can identify that we could be doing a lot better in. There's greater potential in those areas than we are experiencing. And guess what? I have a tool that will help you begin to experience transformation in those areas of stagnation in your life. And that tool is called From Stagnation to Transformation. That's right. That is my book, From Stagnation to Transformation. So I want you to head over to my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. I want you to hit there. I want you to hit the transformation tab. There you're going to find a free preview of my book. That's right. A free preview of my book. And I promise you, after you read the preview, you're going to want to invest in your personal transformation through purchasing the book. So again, hit over there. Purchase the book. Let me know you purchased it. Here's what I always say, guys. If you purchase the book, you read the book, you apply the principles in your life, and yet you still are stagnant in the areas that you are applying them to, and you're not experiencing any transformation, and you can prove to me that you have applied these principles, I will give you a 100% refund. That's right, a 100% refund. Why? Because I believe in the application of the principles that are outlined in this book. So again, visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and purchase your copy of From Stagnation to Transformation.